had my futon. I literally was sleeping there. Really within 10 months, I had to call it. I'm a failure. That failure there, though in the moment felt like the biggest loser, 2.5 years later, we reopened the gym. And that gym was phase one of what Alphaland is now.
That's Christian Guzman, 32-year-old fitness entrepreneur whose businesses have done over $500 million in revenue.
And the craziest part, he's documented his entire journey on YouTube for over a decade.
If you're starting a business, you're not gonna have the funds to pay every person to make content. You need to be your cameraman, you need to be your editor, you need to do everything A to Z in order to increase the odds of your success.
In this episode, Christian explains the common traps that keep creator-led brands from growing, why the biggest risks almost broke him,
and the lessons learned through navigating failure, ego, and rapid growth.
The businesses, especially when you're like being ego-driven and chasing higher and higher and higher revenue, you're taking bigger risks, I'm taking bigger investments, and you feel like you're unstoppable. That can definitely come and crash and bite you in the end.
What Christian has built is no overnight success. His empire nearly collapsed before it ever began.
How he responded in that moment is what turned adversity into a $100 million brand.
My first Alphalete shipment ever arrived from China to my parents' house. I opened up the boxes, the sizing's 2 sizes too small. Went back to the drawing board, ate that initial investment, and I think a big reason why Alphalete sort of established itself as it has.
Christian is proof that the grind really does pay off.
This is the blueprint for turning content and a vision into a $500 million empire. Let's go! You've built multiple 8-figure businesses. What do you think it is that makes creator-led brands scale and the other ones that just fall flat and flop?
I think as soon as the business is not so directly tied to the creator, I guess that longevity factor is really what will make businesses succeed. I remember like clear as day when I started building Alphaland, I had this terrible fear because I went MIA on YouTube. I had this terrible fear that Alphalete sales were just going to tank. If I'm not posting, if I'm just like hiding away doing the business, I had this huge paranoia, and it ended up being the opposite, which kind of gave me this feeling of, okay, shit, maybe I'm not as, connected as I feared I would be, which really gave me confidence to like in longevity in all the brands.
Did you always have the mindset to separate yourself from the brand, or was that something that after you started the brand, you realized, oh, I should maybe take myself out of it a little bit?
No, I mean, I definitely started just owning the journey of the business and everything, but that is something I contemplated before I launched the company. I was like 50-50. Should I just be behind the scenes and kind of be this ghost person that, promotes the brand and doesn't say it's actually mine? Or do I lean into the fact that, hey, I'm starting this is me behind it, and kind of take them along that really tight journey? And that's what I ended up choosing, and I'm definitely happy I did. But it's tough. I mean, I guess a few years ago, I would have just been preaching how it has to be so directly tied to what you're doing. But I guess now I've just seen so many peers succeed in other methods. So like I've seen people do it complete reverse, where they're ghost and they, get a great athlete team and they build Gymshark. Or if they're, like Dom, my partner for 3D and Raw, where he's just like not doing social, he's in his cave grinding in real life and just like able to build these massive companies. So I guess, yeah, for me, it was very much tie myself to the thing, tell my story, build the brand like that. And then stage 2 was to get into women's and sort of reach past my immediate audience. And I think that's what really has taken Alphalete to the next level and kind of made that a solidified brand, in my opinion.
Is that a decision a creator needs to make right off the bat? Or is it something where I can start a business, really be based around my personal brand, and then if I really want to take it to the next level, let me find ways to market it outside of me?
That's like screaming Christian Guzman. Yeah. Ultimately, I mean, look, if you're starting a business, if you're starting a venture, you're not going to have the funds to go and get these people, right? You're not going to have the funds to pay every person to make content. Like you need to rely on yourself to be that main driver, especially nowadays with social being in the spot that it's in. It's like you need to be your cameraman, you need to be your editor, you need to be the talking head, you need to kind of do everything A to Z in order to, in my opinion, just increase the odds of your success for the cheapest rate. Right?
Yeah.
If someone saw the headline $500 million in revenue, what do they miss about the story entirely?
That revenue is not everything. right? I think for many years, I just got super caught into and sucked into growth and top line revenue. And with that, ego builds. And with that, there can be crashes where you just lose sight of the entire purpose of the business, which is like, financially speaking, at least, it's not what you make, it's what you take home, right? It's what is your bottom line. If you're not having a clear eye on profits, if you're not like being sure you're on top of your accounting, you're on top of your taxes, you're actually like up to date with all those things and keeping that fresh eye on it at all times, the businesses, especially when you're like being ego driven and chasing higher and higher and higher revenue, you're taking bigger risks, I'm taking bigger investments, and you feel like you're unstoppable, that can definitely come and kind of crash and bite you in the ass and catch up. So I would say like really letting the ego go a little bit too much and just chasing top line without keeping a very priority, mindset on the bottom line can definitely be a big lesson.
Was there anyone that you were able to talk to while this was all happening? Because I know, like, I've heard you say this before where you're like, it's hard to take advice from someone at that state when you're like, oh, you're not building like what I'm building right now. And you don't see like a business like this, or it's like it's very unique. Was there anyone that you could have called or talked to, or did you talk to during that time period when it was just like flying by the seat of your pants?
No. And I wish there's only like there's people I know now in relationships I have now that I feel like I could have called, but when I was in it, not at all. Mm-hmm. It's like, it was just definitely like I feel like I'm on an island. And I could just kind of take advice from my friends, from my parents, but no one had been in that territory yet. And so it was definitely like I feel like all the people around me, this is fucking dope, man, but let me know how it goes. Like, let me know, like how's, did it work out? Like it's almost like I was a guinea pig in a lot of ways. And I think being the guinea pig through all that rapid growth really has led me to be so much more effective, decisive, and just like actually able to execute anything I've done in the last 12 years. I feel like now at 32, gosh, I feel like it's just, I could do so much better work and just be so much on it with so much less time and stress in this than any of those previous years. So it's just like evolution. And I don't think I would have that feeling if I didn't get fucked over or just like lose so many opportunities or have so many like consequences kind of happen by being the hamster or the guinea pig.
In our last pod with Seth Godin, he told us about how he got kicked out of the publishing business, and that failure actually was the best thing that could have happened to his career. Was there a moment where your ego maybe being a little bit too inflated, was there a moment where it all came together where you had to check yourself and that moment led to new growth in the company?
Yeah, I think the most prime example that comes to mind when you ask me that is I've never wanted to necessarily be a clothing owner. Never, like from the beginning, when I'm talking like high school years, if you ask me what I wanted to be, I want to own a gym. I want to have like a training spot. I want to train group classes of like 15 to 25 like teenagers and kind of run, a really tight ship. And that was my goal. And be able to own the gym was my goal. Now in 2013, that's when I first opened my very first gym. I saved my money from online coaching. I saved money from a few merch drops, and I had enough to invest into my first gym, 900 square foot. With the offices, it was 1,500 square foot. And I pretty much just had my futon. I literally was sleeping there. I was opening the door. I was closing the door. I was doing everything I knew how to do to try to keep the thing alive. Within 10 months, I had to call it. The business was failing. There weren't enough people signing up. There weren't enough people consistently paying the membership without their card getting declined, and I just couldn't stay up on top of it. And I had to, after all my high school, college years, like this is all leading up to this moment, and it felt so real. Like I have to call it. I'm a failure. I have to close the gym. And I still kept the spot. I was still paying rent, but I just decided to use it for like content. And luckily I had other, the merch, and that's sort of when Alphalete was in development, and that led to a bigger warehouse, and I just kind of moved my gym equipment with me. And that failure there, though in the moment felt like the world was crushing me and I felt like the biggest loser, 2.5 years later, January 1st, 2016, we reopened the gym in a 10,000 square foot because the other businesses were going so good. And I just felt like, fuck, like I'm gonna give it another go. And that gym is, or was, sort of the phase one of what Alphaland is now. So since then, that day, the business has been growing consistently and evolving into bigger spaces and bigger spaces into what you see downstairs, which is like, I feel like the success story of the high school version of me.
What really helped this second gym be successful? Not the one that we're in right now, but what did you take from the first gym that actually made that second gym successful? Because the gym
people.
business is hard.
Yeah.
Right.
You need people. I thought that I could just kind of do it all myself. And at first, so hiring people was huge. That was the first time ever managing or having anyone like report to me or, kind of, but that's the first step that any business owner, anyone watching this is going to have to take. If you want to build something, honestly, like it's people. And even now to this day, I think it's funny. People will, ever since entering that when I was 20, 21 years old, people has, and I think always will be, the hardest part of business. So it's like, it feels like a crazy daunting task when you start and you have your first like 3 to 5 to 7 employees, but those same issues just get almost just like leveled up tenfold, 100-fold, the bigger the companies get.
So let me ask you this. If a creator was to come to you and say, I want to build a 7-figure business, what would be the steps you would tell them to build their audience, start building out the team or their product? What have you learned over the past decade plus of building your businesses that you could tell them that would save them years of frustration?
It's a really good question. I can talk about like what I did, right? And I can kind of reflect on that and say what I would do now, which at first it was always, okay, first hire an assistant, kind of teach them everything, kind of evolve like that. But I'm hesitant to give that advice because I really feel like that sort of led me into 10 years of just having really staff that kind of ended up not working out. It almost like starting off like that with somebody doesn't always lead to the best end result. In fact, it's always led to it crashing and burning for me. Versus what I would recommend now to somebody looking to start a 7-figure business. The first person you hire, it needs to, I would say, do things yourself until you're at the point where you can really bring someone good on, right? And I think skipping the phases of just like mediocre or task-driven employees, because that's the thing, like the first 10, every assistant I had, I always thought they were going to eventually become like the, and if we keep grinding, if we keep killing it, you keep doing everything right, like we have great relationships, like for 2 to 5 years, like I see a path where you're like leading this operation, right? Like that's the tone of the conversations that happen. And I was just so wrong so many times. And could that be largely due to me? Probably, right? But I think that right now, 12 years into business is the first time where I'm really, really realizing how important people, like not just, I don't want to say quality people, because like quality people I've always had quality people, but like people that just have more experience in the areas that you're lacking, that have manager experience, that have people experience. Like I found for me, like, I mean, age isn't like a firm thing, but like people that are older that have private equity experience, they have experience in like actual businesses and like in structure, and that can have tough conversations. It's a whole different beast than like growing with someone and hey, like you got this conversation. Like it's a whole different type of level. And at that level, when you start hiring, maybe it's instead of 3 people that are, 50 to 70K a year, you look at one person that's 150, right? And just like entertain it. And it may seem like a bigger jump. You may be like, oh, fuck, like I'd rather have 2 people or 3 people than that. But what I'm telling you from my experience is like in a lot of cases, it will be worth it to get that better person, even if it costs more or equal to in the long run.
You guys are all having a great time, right?
I'm loving this.
Yeah. We got to tell you about the first link in the description though, because we have an awesome free product for you.
Free 99. We all love the sound of that. It's a personal brand Kickstart, and it's going to help you get clarity on the people that you want to talk to and the content that you should be creating. It is so simple. It's going to literally take you less than 10 minutes. I mean, are you enjoying this episode?
I really am. And you know who had amazing clarity on their personal brand? It's Christian Guzman.
100%. I don't want to hold you any longer, so let's keep it rolling. Yeah, we feel you on this conversation for sure. When you were going the early days of hiring people, you mentioned that you would give them a checklist. And my cousin is like, he's sold multiple businesses, and he was chatting with me about being a checklist founder myself. And I was like, so yeah, can I see her? He's like, do you do a checklist? I'm like, every fucking day. And he's like,
Bro, no, it'd be like I would do my checklist, but then I would do my employees' checklist.
Yeah,
on Things 3, the app, I would have like different categories for everyone's name, and I would literally update checklists for them
every day.
And I'm like, that was, I mean, we were also, granted, while doing that, we still reached 80 to 100 million in revenue, which is fucking crazy. But that's also shows like how much timing has to happen, luck has to happen, product has to land at an exact certain time to make that happen. That's like an anomaly, right? But then that system quickly crashed and burned for me. And then I've had to rebuild. And that's kind of the stage we're in now, is like this rebuilding structurally from the ground up with a healthy eye on market. Just like a whole business restructure is what we've been doing over the last year.
And talk to us a little bit about who you brought on. I know we spoke to Chris when we got here, and he's helping run things. He's a COO. You know, what has it been like to hire someone on that you're like, I don't need to oversee what's going on right this second. Like I can let them run and, you know, manage and do that whole side of things. What has that been like for the business?
You know, like I used to use that term, let them run, a lot. And it's almost like I was always like, I'm going to get this person and let them run, right? Like let them do that. But I'm not trying to be, but what I've learned,
Stupid question.
No, but for all the way until like this year, I've just kind of had this mindset shift of like, when I think about me and Chris's relationship, we're talking all the fucking time. So it's like we're running, he's running, but with super consistent communication with me, to the point where like I'm not in the office physically, but I know exactly what like the hurdles of every department, with what people are doing well, with the dynamic, because like I haven't just, when I first hired him, I thought it was gonna be like, okay, we were gonna do a trial for 90 days. You're gonna like kind of shadow me. We're gonna go through everything, ask me questions, talk to the staff. And then after, in my head, I was like, okay, after 90 days, like you're gonna be able to like really go and like execute. But what I've found is like the reason it's been so successful here is it's more communication than I've ever had with anybody. Right. And we have like a once a week weekly call, right, where we spend about an hour just catching up everything high level. And that alone has been fantastic. But on top of that, it's like anytime we touch base, we're always texting. There's no like off time. It's like anytime we need anything, we're there. And I feel like that's why he's able to consistently keep executing and not just like go off and run. And then it's like, oh, where are you at? Oh, fuck. And we've diverged from the goal.
As long as it's before 8 p.m. Because he told us he wakes up at 3 a.m.
What's going on with Chris's schedule?
Bro, bed at 8?
I don't know, but I ain't complaining.
Chris is like, yeah, he's like, I've been in here for a few hours already. I was like, yeah, dude, we got to bed late, man.
You know, it's interesting. I know that you guys have spent some time with Layla and Alex Hermosi. And we had Caleb Ralston on our pod not too long ago, who just, he was working with them for a minute. We were asking him like what he's learned from working with them. And he said something that he loved that Layla did was when they bring on a new hire, they have like an onboarding process, like 30 days before they even start. And that way they can kind of just hit the ground running. And then, like you said, the benefit of bringing on A players and people who crush it, when you were really going through it and you feel like you had no one to talk to, now that you've been in it for a minute, are there people like Layla and Alex that you can talk to? And like, what advice have you gotten from maybe other people in the entrepreneur space or other mentors that you've had?
You know, that's a good question. And I would say there's like 3 to 5. They'll dab up every time a good question.
We joke like when we're doing pods and someone says that's a good question. We're always like, dude, put it right there, man. Put it right there. If we get one, we're feeling real good.
Two,
We've
man.
already got
That's
two. We're even 15 minutes in.
I wish that I asked for advice more. I don't. And I think that roots back to probably something that's not a healthy habit.
Sure.
But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'd rather kind of, God, it sounds so like stupid and like against everything I've been saying. But when it comes down to it, it's like, I know I could kind of reach out for advice here and there, but it's also like, I have confidence in what I'm deciding to do and I have to lean into it. And it's like, I haven't got where I am by going and asking for tons of advice ever, really. So it's like, it's almost like I need to fucking prove to myself that I can turn this thing around. It's like after 8 years of like boom, 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 it's like, okay, this is your first fucking test. Let's see, how are you going to fix this? How are you going to turn this around and grow a sustainable, so Alphalete can be around another 10, 20, 30 years.
I also feel though that might be because it started as like a creator-led business. Nobody knows this business more than you. It's at your core. It's what you like live for. So I feel like at the end of the day, you kind of got to trust your gut. And you're like, this is, yes, I can get outside advice, but where I want to take this business, nobody's going to know it more than you.
What does the infrastructure look like now from obviously the early days where we're writing checklists for people, and now we have this crazy office that we're in. It's in a beautiful space. You have very talented people around you. Like, what does it look like from a levels perspective? So like maybe just general staff at the gym and like layer me up all the way up.
General staff at the gym, management, then it goes to Chris. Essentially what you're going to find, which is my COO/president, right? So that structure kind of goes the same with Alphalete, where we have our staff, we have our management reports to Chris. Chris reports to me. And same with our media team, or marketing, not media, sorry. And same with our design. And that right there has been the sole thing I feel like I have been looking for my whole career.
Is that sort of structure. Before you just remove Chris, and then I have literally all these heads.
I remember in 2023, we're outsourcing an HR team, and they would come and travel here like once every 2-3 months, and I had 24 direct reports. So it was the end of the year. I was doing performance reviews. I had 24 folders with with yearly reviews that I was independently having to do, to give bonuses, to give performance evaluations. And that's when I realized how straight up shitty of a man, like a real manager I was being. I was like, sure, I can be a good leader, but I am not being a good manager. I am not consistently checking in with all of these people. I check in with like 5 to 8 of them, right? And I have very close, but that's when I was like living here. But realistically, I feel like the cap for reports is like 8 to 10. Anything really 8, I would say. Anything more than 8 people directly reporting to you on like a work chart, I don't think you can do well, right? Without like killing yourself. So doing all those reviews that year, it was like, I have to change this, right? And I didn't even realize I had 24 direct reports until HR came in, solidified the work structure. They're not, Christian, they all report to you. And I'm like, wow.
That makes sense.
It makes sense.
Holy shit.
It gets so out of hand. And it's like, when you realize like people are literally working their ass off every day, showing up and doing this. And then as a manager, if you can't give that back and you can't reciprocate that, it was a huge reality check that like, I have to make changes here, and I have to actually get this shit done, because this is not fair to them. This is not fair to me, but of course it's them first. But it's like, that's when I really started experimenting with hiring higher level people that could manage. And we've had failures, we've had successes with that. It's an ever growing, every single day battle to build the team out and make it as effective as possible. But I would say, that has been like I said, people is the hardest part of business.
You mentioned that you were outsourcing HR and at one point accounting.
And accounting, bro.
So
it's not you just like turning your hat around and be like,
yeah,
what's the issue?
I'm
HR.
Dude, we're the best HR department over here. We're amazing. What have you learned about that, about bringing that team in house? The trials and tribulations of that whole journey, because man, I remember the first year that I had to do taxes. Didn't know that taxes could be so expensive, dude. I remember me with the accountant.
Every time I see a new influencer making tons of money and buying so much shit,
oh my God,
I'm like, get ready for tax. Just get ready.
Just get ready for the season.
Fucking ready.
Did you see the guy on the Graham Stephan?
Oh, that
podcast?
was insane. That was fucking crazy.
He was like this influencer, and he was like, yeah, I spent like $700K on this.
Oh, Togi.
Yes.
And they go, like, what are you gonna do about taxes? He's like, what? I'm not gonna pay that. I'm like, what are you talking about?
How are you gonna pay that?
Get ready for a wake up call. Do you do quarterlies now at this level? Is that what has to be done, or do you try it?
Ideally. So our accounting is actually still getting shifted. So like we hired a CFO, and again invested a lot of time. Didn't work out. So that put us kind of right back without still outsourcing. Then we hired someone now. So it's like we're hoping by end of Q1 next year to have it all shifted in-house. But yeah, accounting has been a massive one. We still outsource legal, which that fucked me last year. And then we now have HR in-house. HR in-house, I would say, is because of the gym, because of just how my structures are and the amount of people we have in the gym, HR is absolutely number one to get moved in-house. And then I would put it accounting and then
the legal.
But for most people, I would almost say it depends on how big the team is, but I would probably put accounting up before HR for many.
Okay, you brought up that you felt like you were a good leader, but maybe not as great of a manager. How do you get people bought into your vision? When you're bringing on a team and building it out, it's obviously your baby and you want people to work as hard as you, but that might be a little bit difficult. So how do you, as a leader of a company, get people really bought in and on board to work fucking hard and grind to help you build this thing into what you know it can turn into?
Bro, just being honest, I don't think I've ever had an issue getting people invested. But I think that's because I've always just been like, I know what I got to do. I got to keep making videos. I got to make my videos. I got to do this like higher level visionary kind of stuff. But where I feel like I've just failed is being that manager, right? It's like the people will start working, this isn't really what I thought. And like, I own that, man. Like I completely, or it's like, I didn't have the managers in place for them to have an experience where they're ready to devote their life and this and that. And then like, we just don't have proper leadership. And that's been a big thing over the last few years, to be honest. So, I don't know. I think you get people bought in by being the big picture, right? It's just, you have to be sure you have support that you're communicating with very constantly so that when people come on board and start working for you, they can have a good experience and a path up. I think that's just huge.
That's a big one.
That's a huge one. And that's something we're still working on. I mean, very transparently.
If you were to lose all the businesses tomorrow, we had to start over. You still get to, do you get to keep the audience, you think, or no? You want to?
No, I think
you just start over, but you have the knowledge that you have tomorrow. What is the first step that you would take? Would it be short form social? Would it be YouTube, these long form YouTube videos? What are you thinking you would do to build it back? You still have a consistent monthly salary, by the way. So you're not you don't have $0 coming in. Let's make it realistic. But you do have to start building it back up.
So to start the business, or just to start like building the
I'd say both.
Awareness?
I'd say both. I mean, you want the businesses back. You're a businessman. What would you do?
I would 100% get on. I'm going to take the risky route. I'm going to go on YouTube.
Okay, you are going to go. Yeah. Okay, and why do you feel like YouTube is so important?
To me, YouTube is the king of all platforms. It goes YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. LinkedIn will probably be above Snapchat, I'd say, but I don't really do LinkedIn. But
did I close my biggest deal ever off a cold LinkedIn DM?
Really?
Biggest deal ever.
So maybe bump that up.
In front of TikTok. I was actually astounded at just who is seeing this stuff, because you can see like C-suite level people or manager level people, and then I found this other app where I could just type in their name and it'll give me their email immediately on LinkedIn, which is kind of crazy. But It's been nuts. I feel like your video stuff would eat. If you literally just repurpose the videos you're doing on Instagram and threw them over there and just added it in. We had a guy on who's
More connections.
100%, but there's only 1% of people on LinkedIn are creating. So it's all consumers. So like, and you have 1,000 fucking videos that could go up, they would hum.
More like 3,000. Yeah.
No, I know, thousands. I mean, like even the journey of building back 3D and getting
Just have
it
someone clip all that. and just, like, do it on
100%
LinkedIn.
and just put it, they have a Reels feed now basically.
Damn.
And like
Heidi's like pretty big on the
I've seen her stuff pop up. I think it'd be
Yeah, you could crush.
Yeah.
it would eat. And it'd be a whole new audience of people.
Yeah.
That's like that has no idea that you even exist.
Yeah.
Which is
and then
crazy.
you probably get way better staff too.
They're like, I want to work for this guy. Okay, so
But
YouTube would
definitely
be
YouTube.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I think that's also from starting from zero, it's going to be the hardest to grow for sure. But I still believe that we have people with 10,000 subs that kill it with Alphalete, that kill it with the brand, that kill it in any search. So I would work on YouTube, and right after that, I would still find a way to still do short form, mainly Reels, and I would immediately start a service, something that has zero costs, zero overhead, right? What can I build up? What can I teach? What can I sell and give service to until I get money in my savings to go and comfortably start a business and give that time for my content to grow.
Man, I think the play of YouTube
which is the same thing I did
Yes.
in 2012. So it's crazy that I would still give the same advice now. I would also maybe argue that maybe now it is more of a volume game on short form over YouTube, but I think I'm biased because I've just like been so driven by YouTube. But like posting, if you have the capacity to get on short form 4 or 5 times a day, I've heard that's like today, that is what really helps grow.
just that much volume.
That much volume. It's just, honestly,
5 is insane.
it's insane. And I have a hard time seeing a world where I could produce that. And you know what I mean?
but you're spending, it's a different type of viewing experience on YouTube than it is on short form. And I think the reason why even early on, right, before you were fucking as big as you are now, like you had such a dedicated audience because you were really leaning into like your story and having an actual connection with your audience, which is so much more difficult to do on short form. And that's the reason why you were able to move so much product. I 100% agree with your take on diving into YouTube.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about this, but with AI and everything, it's going to be hard to compete on short form
100%.
as we move forward. And YouTube's not going to be monetizing AI content. And
big.
so
Thank God.
I know, I think it's going to be
No, it's
a big
massive.
saving grace for creators for sure.
Yeah. I see that being the future. I think people are going to get, life is a circle, business is a circle, content's a circle, how people enjoy content's a circle. And I think that with AI coming in so heavy, you're right. I think short form is going to start burning people out. It's going to start feeling like just, God, I need a break from this. And what's that break going to be? Slower paced, long form, not quick cuts, real.
Do you watch any YouTube at all yourself anymore? Do you get the chance to?
Yeah.
Okay, that's by far my favorite platform. But I think it's also, like we were saying, connected TV, I guess, is like skyrocketing for them. So people are watching these like 30, 40 hour podcasts, vlogs
That's all I watch.
on their TV.
Yep.
And you're just posting up and watching it. I think that YouTube is where I'd spend the most. Obviously, it's the hardest though. Because remember when you started, it was just mostly commentary, right? Like you would vlog and it would be like a commentary of your workout.
Vlog and commentary, yeah.
When did you see it start to shift where you were like, I can't rip this same playbook anymore?
I would say I started to see rapid growth when we changed that up in like 2016.
Nabil was 17?
He was 17, but I had a few people before that were Javon, Kelvin, Lawrence, shout out, when we started like really trying to elevate the videos with videography. But now it's not, I don't know. I think it could work now for sure, but now it's just, we're like, for the last 2 years, I started a new YouTube channel. I hit 1 million. It was a 12-year-old channel, really plateauing and losing followers. It was an uphill battle. So I started a fresh channel, dedicated my whole everything to that. And it's been a constant growth. but I edited all the videos myself for 2 years, right? But that meant clips and voiceover. so that's what I've been doing the last 2 years until Nabil got here like 5 months ago.
Wow.
On the topic of your new channel, okay, your boy Max.
Am I crazy?
No.
We don't think you're crazy at all.
What's up with your boy Max, dude?
We gotta talk.
Dogging you, not thinking you can hit a mill.
We gotta talk to Max. We're gonna talk to him tomorrow. I think you can for sure hit a mill. I think that.
Does that fuel you?
Yeah. Does that fuel you?
Yeah, it's not the. I'll tell you, like when I got the mill plaque, I had no feeling. I was like, dope. What's next? So it's like when I got my 100K plaque, just like yesterday, I was like, dope. What's next? So it's I know no matter what the goal is, I'll always just feel like that. But I'm not gonna lie, it does motivate the fuck out of me. Just because like, and it's not the mill number, but it's growth. I want to.
But it's Max.
We were saying what you got to do. I don't know if you knew you could do this with like the 100K plaque or the million plaque. You can get a second one if it's like you and your boy. If you have like a channel together, you need to get him one and sign it. Ship that over and be like, you're gonna put this in your office behind you. Okay, back up to something you just said about how you hit this goal, you hit 100, and you kind of move past it. Do you feel like that's been an ongoing thing that you maybe haven't been able to sit and feel like these massive monumental moments in business or in these things that you're chasing? Do you feel like you always have moved the goalpost? Because it's something that I feel like I've dealt with a lot and I'm trying to work through. Like, you know, you'll hit these numbers, or, you know, you hit a podcast episode and I'm like, this is so fucking amazing. But like you're saying, it's like the next day I'm like, we need a new guest.
Like as soon as you hit this milestone that you've been chasing for so long, the goalpost just automatically moves forward.
I think that's life, man. I as much as I want to be like, oh, just let's I don't know. Okay, I will say like there's a sense of, with me getting married and stuff last year, and just like kind of combining our pots and both money, you know, savings, and being like, oh shit, like, you know, great. Like it's nice for sure. But I find when I let myself kind of like, oh, I don't have to work. Like that's bad. That's a dangerous territory to get. That's a dangerous mindset to get in. Right. Because I don't know. We appreciate how far we've come for sure, but it's like, it may sound so cheesy, but if you're not working on growing, I find like I just feel lost, and I just don't really, that's just not how I've want to wire myself, with fitness, with work, with content. So I just like the chase, and I want to put myself in positions to always be chasing. And like, should you stop and appreciate, for sure. Like sometimes I'm outside of the gym and I have like this wide angle just view of like everything. I'm like, and it's peak hours, the sun's going down, the sunset looks beautiful, and I'm just like, fuck yeah, man. Like I'm living it right now.
I'm him.
So I think just be sure to remind yourself, like, you are living it right now. Like if 5 years ago you dreamt of this moment, fucking embrace it. And just all I can say is like, be more present in the moment. And it's like, don't be so distracted. I feel one big thing that I've been working on is like just being more in the moment with things. And I think that's something I've really gotten better at since really starting this new channel. And this is a whole side tangent, but like getting off of Adderall cold turkey, and sort of like, I found that what's slowing down, I thought slowing down would be, is actually just me being more clear and having more clarity, making decisions quicker and just sharper. And by doing that and not fogging myself with like stimulants and stuff like that, I'm able to be more present and just enjoy the things more.
Have you tried NeuroGum?
Once. It was just really chewy.
Yeah.
You know, that was the only downside.
I'm into it. Yeah. Got some extra in my bag.
I got 5 Zyn pouches right now.
We get Brian some before the pod.
Okay, you brought up that there's a few athletes that crush for you guys that maybe don't have as many followers. You mentioned to us that influencer marketing has changed a little bit and isn't necessarily what it once was, and your guys' marketing strategy is changing a little bit. Can you talk about how your marketing strategy has changed and how it's different in 2025 than it was maybe in 2015?
For sure. I mean, 2015 was, I don't think there were many influencers back then, but I would say like 2020, let's say.
Okay.
So in 2020, I feel like that was a very easiest way to put it. About 50% of Alphalete sales used to come from influencers, athletes, creators, and that. Now it's down to about 32%, right? And it's interesting, like what that means for us, it's not a bad thing. It means that we're investing also into ads, into Google, into things like that. And just like really the shift that I'm making now is having our marketing team actually put their brain and attention on the marketing outside of just the influencers and just the ads, just the athletes. So like we're investing so much money into this stuff, and it seems like all of their actual work day has been so heavily involved in just like, what's the next drop? Who are we shooting? This. It's like, pause for a minute, split the attention from, 90% this and 10% on this other stuff. Like, let's actually see what happens if we switch that to be 35% focused on the athlete, the marketing. Let them more so do their thing, right? Let's lean on them to do their thing, and let's put our internal team focus on how can we improve what we're putting out as a company, building the brand. Like, how are we going to do that instead of investing so much into into influencers? I mean, don't get me wrong, I stand behind our athletes so much, but it's like at a certain point we need to let the athletes do their thing, and like, right, and not try to handhold it so much and give so much attention to it in the sense. Does that make sense? I'm not trying to come off like,
no, 100%. Why do you think though that it has gone down for tons of companies? Like a lot of people that we talk to that run any sort of brand that relied heavily in the very beginning on influencer marketing, it's changed a ton. I mean, it's changed a ton. Like the space is so different. There's way more brands.
Yeah.
Like there's so many more places that I feel like you could be going to, and there's more competition.
Yeah.
Like there's more competition from the big players too, not just like people that are making brands that are like under 200 million in that space. Like it's, you know,
I'm going to stop trying to sugarcoat. I'm like, man, if my athletes watch this, it's not that but the straight up, there's too many brands, there's too many influencers working with too many brands. Your code is not as valuable as it once was. Mm-hmm. It's not as unique. And I think by the more things as an influencer and creator you say yes to, if I'm going to say yes to doing this or yes to doing that, all you're really ultimately doing, you may get a check or make some commission, but like you're just making it harder and harder to grow organically out of this hole that you're building yourself. And it's such a hard balance to kind of understand, because it's like you got to pay the rent, we got to make a living and stuff. And I'm not saying don't work with brands. I'm just saying that what I'm finding over the last 5 years is the conversion and the value, it's just shrinking. Mm-hmm. And it's like it's shrinking straight up.
Can you touch on a little bit about how long it actually takes to build a brand? Because we've been doing this pod we're coming up on 4 years, and we feel like we're just now starting to get the traction we thought we could have got in year one. But it's taken us, we fucked up so much stuff, but it's taken us like 4 solid years to almost feel like we're just starting out in a sense. Can you talk about how long it really does take to build a proper brand?
Bro, I feel like Alphalete's just becoming a proper brand. Yeah. Well, just in the sense of where like I feel like we're building the foundation to be able to withstand rapid growth again. Yeah. We're building it properly so where it won't things won't crumble it may look perfect from the outside, but like to where things won't crumble on the inside. So it's like, I mean, it can take, even if I don't use that example, it's like 3D's been around since 2017, right? That's when we launched it. And just now, I feel like we've had launches, we've had to change the name of the product, we've gotten retail stores, lost retail stores. I've had to rebuild those relationships, find new partners, and reformulate. And it's like, hey, now it's actually starting to really gain traction for the first time in 8 years?
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy, right? And it's still like, so that's another example. I mean, like the gym, with all the money we've invested to this place, like it's finally starting to show like signs of like healthy, consistent profit.
Yeah.
So it's like, fuck, that only took 10 years.
I feel like that's, it's so refreshing to hear that, because I feel like it's very easy for someone to see what you've built and think that it can just happen overnight. It's even at the amount of revenue that you guys have done. It's like to hear that you guys are a decade in, if not longer, and you're now feeling like you're kind of just getting started in at a new chapter. It's really frustrating to hear, because I feel like people, especially with how social media is nowadays, they just want that instant gratification and not really willing to put in like the years and years of hard work that it actually takes to build something.
Was the gym the biggest risk you think you took? This
property was the biggest risk.
That's what I mean. This property.
I mean, the one thing about the property is it's always been gym, Alphalete, kind of all encompassing. So that is how I viewed it. I'm like, the gym ain't going to fund this place, right? Alphalete is going to fund most of it, but like everything funnels to here. But yeah, I mean, bro, like just to maintain this place is a fucking crazy amount. And it's not to mention the build out and the property costs.
So it sits on 13 acres, right?
18 and a half.
18 and a half.
Oh,
wow. Okay. When you get the idea and you see this land and you're like, I want to buy this.
Yeah.
What was going on from a financial standpoint of like, okay, do you have to put like 2 million down? Do you have to put 5 down?
Yeah, it was about 2 million.
Okay. And then do you have to go to the bank and say, hey, this is what I'm willing to finance? Like, how does I want to know how the whole thing works.
So how essentially I had a lot of cash saved because the businesses were just very healthy and it was time to, make a purchase and stop renting. And it kind of made sense to try to find an all encompassing place. So I think it was like 20% down. Got the building for 8.5 million. It got appraised at 11. So then I negotiated down to 8.5. So that was, that's actually a pretty good deal for this property. Yes, it's a huge headache and maintenance and a whole different beast, but at least I'm getting a good value. I only asked for $1 million from the bank, like an idiot, to renovate. So 9.5, not 8.5. And then I put whatever the 20% down. So it was like about 2 million.
Why 20%? Just so people know. Like, does it help with like taxes and whatnot? Or does it help with like their financing?
To get it?
Yeah.
That's just what the bank said.
Okay.
Down.
Okay. I don't know. 20%. Okay.
Yeah. It was like about 2 million.
Okay.
Down.
Okay.
Yeah. From there, not to like go on a tangent, but I ended up spending way fucking more than that 1 million. So that was anything that exceeded that one was for my savings. And that was many millions spent. The good thing is now the property's valued at like 23 million.
wow.
So the appraisal's double what it was when I bought it. Because we put so much into it. And on paper, that sounds great. It's like, yeah, fuck yeah. But it's like, what are the reality, benefits? It's like, more leverage with banks and, lines of credit, stuff like that. So there's definitely leverages, which I'm kind of finally starting to understand. And Chris is definitely helping a ton with that. Like having experience in private equity. I don't have any experience in any of that. Like I'm the dummy who bought the $8.5 million, asked for $1 million and spent, so I definitely learned a lot with this property. It was definitely the biggest risk for sure. And yeah, with that timing with COVID, it took 2 years to get this open. So yeah, 2 years of hell. Was
there a moment during that period where you were like, I am way in over my head and I have to claw my way out of this?
100%. It was, I bought it in February 2020. In March, COVID
February of 2020?
Yeah, COVID hit in March.
Oh,
and
man.
So, and I remember by like May or something around that time, I was working in the shack and I walked out and a few guys had gotten COVID, the staff, so no one could come in. It was like 2 weeks. So I literally just staring at this massive property with everything demoed, with my gym being shut down, that was open at the time. Hundreds of thousands of dollars coming out per month from my accounts, being out of the $1 million. So that all straight up from like cash flow. Right. So I just had to really bust my balls with Alphalete. So like, that's where, I didn't give a fuck if it was creating 100 task lists for people. It's like, I just had to get that shit done and communicate it in the only way I knew how. It was full on survival, and survival by pushing myself and just like, if I didn't have the time to onboard new, high level people and do everything like the right way, I just was clawing my way, man. And like, I need you here. You come do this. I need these things done. You have till the end of the week. Like, get that shit done, and I'll give you new shit to do. Like, that's how we survived. Wow. So it's like, yeah, it fucking worked. Yeah.
Were you sleeping a ton during the build of this?
No, I mean, the sleep schedule was very, I'd never want to relive that again. But yeah, it was super fucked.
Do you think zooming back out now, do you think it was possible when you walk up and you look at like the scale of this place and like what it is now? Like, I mean, we got here at 7:00. There was 100 cars in the parking lot. Do you think it's possible to do it like now, like going back to that period of time when you were in this hustle and you're fucking coming here every single night, you're sleeping here, like,
I really think this place is a big reason why I got so hooked to Adderall. I think now without the Adderall, I would do it so much more effectively, efficiently. And it's almost like I spent so much extra time, and this is what I want to be clear when people, and I was prescribed it, man. It started finding and taking more than I was prescribed, but like Adderall makes you loop in circles like this. And it really makes you like get in your head and spend a lot more time running through scenarios, and you do deep dives and all this like shit that's ultimately unnecessary. And when you're taking it and kind of on the stimulants, you're like, okay, I need to have my process. I need to like do it a certain way. But what you realize when you are clear, it's like, now I'm able to just make decisions, bro. So it's like, instead of changing the floor plan as many times as I did, and like that, so many of the nights were like floor plan material, like just like scouring for every single thing so many times, changing my mind. It's like, I could have just, I really think I could do it for 35% cheaper now. I think I could do it probably the same amount of time or maybe a little less. So I just wouldn't be so indecisive and like unsure.
So every time you would change the contractors, one would probably be butthurt and then also cost you a little bit more.
Oh yeah.
Every time you're changing.
100%. Yeah. Wow. And I really think a lot of that was due to like me being on the Adderall.
It's literally like 21 Jump Street when it has all the things. He's like,
science. Yeah, exactly. We're changing it again, but this is the one. Yes, I got it.
This is the one.
Okay, you bring up cash flow, and a big part of that is customer acquisition. I'd love to know the strategy behind customer acquisition in 2025 as it pertains to both clothing and then also getting people into the gym, into a physical space, and like how they differ and how they're similar.
Honestly, the gym has done so. I just filmed like quality ads for the gym for the first time in my life a few months ago.
I saw that.
Until that point, it's been organic via YouTube or word of mouth, and it's gotten us to a crazy point. And so I don't want to come and sit here, like I said, and I've tried different sales teams. I hired this really experienced guy from this really popular commercial gym to come in, try to redo the team, bring that structure over here, see if we can get more, people in the door. Didn't work.
Why do you think it didn't work?
Because this demographic, it really turned all of our people off. And people actually stopped coming. It changed the whole vibe down there. It changed the whole...
do you think it became like when you'd walk into like an LA Fitness and they're like, hey man, you want to sign up for a year? Like, dude, I'm just here for a day pass.
It really came. It started...
You can't cancel your membership.
You're like... Nope.
Your joke, that exact thing leaked into the company so bad. And I mean, as someone who was trying to like do the right thing for the business, I wanted to see it through. But after like X amount of months of it not working on paper and seeing the negative effect in person, it was all right, let's cut it. We went back to just the old way we used to run stuff. Boom. We're gaining more memberships than we ever have right now.
And it's purely just from the fitness community knowing that this place exists.
Yeah. And knowing that that energy is out.
What's the split between just day passes versus retained members?
Now we're making, for the first year, we actually, in I think 2 years, we might have done more revenue in day passes than memberships, which is fucking crazy. We did like 70,000 day passes year one.
What's a day pass versus a membership cost? $29 for a day pass?
Day pass, membership $109.
Oh, wow.
So we were doing crazy, but now we're kind of steadily between 25 and 30,000 day passes a year.
And how many members are here?
A little over 3,000.
Wow.
And do you think that's just because you've built the brand to what it is?
Yeah.
And people just come from out of town, or?
I mean, dude, I flew in when I was in high school. Me and my boy flew out to your other gym, the one that had that gold writing on the on the thing.
Damn.
Yeah, and I remember like I was like, this is Disneyland. It was huge, and it's funny because I don't know. I'm excited. We obviously didn't get to see it, but I'm like, this is so wild to remember like what that place was, and like I've seen this place on videos, but it doesn't even compare. Like you walk up and you're like, it's literally like fucking Disneyland parking lot. It's got the little banners on. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, holy shit, we're here. It's so wild.
Yeah. Do you guys offer fast passes? Like,
how do I get to the front of the line for the bench?
So what do you feel like hearing that? What do you feel like people still don't understand about building a brand in 2025?
I think that overall people try to focus in on product too much. And like, I'm guilty of this as well. Like I'll say for Alphalete, I'm always so involved in the product development, and I'll get on my stories and like literally tell you why our items are better. Like literally I'm going to describe why and how these items are superior, and like all the love that goes in, not just like, oh, I love designing, so I made this shirt. No, it's like, we chose this seam because of this and this and this, and this fabric is different than our old one because you guys gave us feedback. Like I dive heavy into that. And I think that does really, really help for sure. But sometimes because the building of the brand and the aura of become more, which is our mission statement, has always come natural to me, because I've always just like documented what we're doing. And that is sort of, I've relied on that to be the mission. Now our challenge is, I need to shift my marketing team's focus to like not relying on just me and what we're doing and actually like we need to find out, how do we focus on become more? Don't focus on marketing the clothes, selling the clothes. Yes, to an extent, percent of it, but we need to shift more focus onto the messaging. So my point is, messaging is more important than anything. I mean, being clear with that.
It's the classic Nike example. Like you see a Nike commercial, they don't talk about the new tech in the shoes sometimes, but it's all about storytelling for sure. I also want to give you kudos, because I had never like felt your clothing, and you have the merch store downstairs. Mm-hmm. Phenomenal.
Thank you.
I'm gonna be copping some stuff.
You told us that you're back to focusing like so much energy onto the content from a YouTube standpoint, from a short form standpoint. Why is that the biggest driver?
For me,
shifting my focus? Yes.
Well, I finally have help in the office, so I'm able to do that, because I think that's where, in the long run, I think that's where I will provide the most value. As long as like in the CEO operation, like as long as things are getting executed and I'm communicating, like that's a huge chunk of my day. But
is the content side of stuff
is like being sure we're all good here.
Okay.
But yeah, by having higher elevated people, I've just freed up more time to get back to the content. So it's like, I just firmly believe with that free time, if I dedicate it to being consistent on YouTube, to trying new things, to getting on short form. I have a full-time short form guy now, right? For anytime I would like hire people like that, when I was in the weeds, I'd be like, nah, fuck that. You got to go to Alphalete. Alphalete needs you more than me, right? And so I kind of like kept doing that. And this is the first time I'm trying to make my stuff a priority in a long time with help. And just, I think the return on that eventually will be worth it.
And you've divvied up content people now, right? So you have Nabil doing YouTube specifically.
And it's Dohan doing short form.
Dohan does short form. And then is there someone also doing 3D short form? Or like the ads behind 3D?
That team, we're actually, we were trying to split it. We were trying to split it between our Alphalete team. We're like, hey, some of the staff, we will pay you in addition to your Alphalete role. It didn't work.
It didn't work out.
Too much.
Just too much stuff for them.
So we're actually, Dom will be taking that piece of the business. And of course, like when we need content, me, Dohan, and Heidi, we go film for 3D. But yeah, the chunk of the ads and newsletters, all that stuff, like we're gonna shift that to a team over there.
When you think about how you want to structure your YouTube videos, how often are you uploading currently?
Twice a week.
Twice a week. When you're thinking about the structure of those YouTube videos, how much of it is, I'm just going to document my life and then make a sick edit, versus planning out, okay, I have this big thing that I want to highlight or this other thing that I want to highlight? How much planning goes into each YouTube video?
There's been different times, like different eras. And I'll say right now, I'm definitely in an era where it's like 100% organic, whatever's happening of the capturing of the life and vlog. I want to get it to a point. I think the only way for me to really grow past that is going to be to start dedicating and scripting and coming up with topics and like things to do. But I never want it to be more than like a 70-30 split. I think the whole purpose of my new channel is to feel the flexibility to like do whatever I kind of want. But it's a double-edged sword because I know like in order to grow, I will have to plan a little bit more probably.
Sure.
Especially on short form. Short form is where I kind of get stuck a little more if I'm just like, oh, let's just film whatever's happening for this. It's like, here's another day in the life, right? It's not a bad thing. It's definitely should be in rotation, but I definitely I get turned off when I have to like try to script something or like get a solid message. I'm like, I'd just rather vlog my life. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to get back to that 70-30 instead of just 100% like real time, whatever's happening.
And you think that you do have to get back to the 70-30 to see a bigger spike?
On short form, yeah.
Okay, for sure on short form.
For sure on short form.
I agree with that.
Yeah, for short form has to be more curated, I feel
Kind of
like.
have to think of like the hook, the
Yeah.
idea, something that's going to be shared.
So frustrating, yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking annoying. It's super annoying.
Okay, we want to go back to the beginning. You open up that first box and something's not quite right. But you had a conversation with Paul and he gave you some advice, and that kind of helped take you through the rest of your career and how you operate as a businessman. Can you talk to us about the moment you open up that first package and what's going through your mind and that decision that you made?
Yep. So my first Alphalete shipment ever arrived from China to my parents' house, right? I open up the boxes. The sizing's 2 sizes too small. Like literally I had to wear a double X and I was like a large. And I took those Alphalete t-shirts that were custom made, custom fabric, custom fit to my t-shirt printing guy here down the street. His name's Paul, that I was doing my merch with, CG Fitness. And I asked him, I go, Paul, you think I should just like put them on the website and say, order 2 sizes up? He goes, Christian, do you want to be a millionaire? He asked me, and I go, yeah. Don't sell them. Remake them. Can you afford to do them right, redo them, find out something to do with these, but be sure the first time you launch the brand, you do it right. And I took that advice, went back to the drawing board, ate that initial investment, which sucked, but invested about double for the actual first launch. And looking back, were those shirts perfect? No, they weren't. They were way better than the initial ones I didn't do, but I was very happy with them at the time. And then of course, like then it marks an evolution. Okay, let's try to get them better and better and better. But yeah, I mean, that advice was everything. And I think a big reason why Alphalete sort of established itself as it has. And even now, man, I mean, literally 10 years later, like we still have factory issues. And if a bulk shipment comes in, it first comes to retail and we test it, right? And we've found stuff in the last 1 to 2 years where we've had to completely scrap. Don't put it online. It's like they didn't, whatever may have happened. And that sucks. It's like we have to go into these battles with the factory. Maybe we don't get, they're not just going to give things for free. Maybe some of it falls on our design team. Maybe some fell on them. So it's honestly a lot of that. And
that's what I was going to ask when something comes in and it's messed up, like, and you're ordering so much at scale, what happens with this factory team that you've built up a relationship with? Are you guys like,
all individual cases, man.
All very case by case.
Yeah.
And so, like, okay, so something comes in and it's messed up. Do you first go, hey, to the design team, like, what the fuck's going on here?
No, 100%. I go, I need backlog. I need to see what the fuck happened and where. And
is it typically sizing issues or color or fabric, like, or is it different every single time?
Normally sizing and the way they, maybe for example, like the straps that they put on a bra is not like the same stretchness that we approved, or it's like a very recent case. We have a Sandy bra, and it's called Sandy bra, and literally the factory made them all a size too small. So the smalls were actually extra smalls, and they're all labeled. Mediums are actually smalls. So in that case, that's one case where we just went on our website and we said, size up all over the place, communicate with the athletes. You have to size these up. But it sucks. We do everything based off like percent splits, extra small, small, medium, 15, 25, 30, whatever. So all that's fucked up. And not only that, but a second order of them is already committed to and developed that's coming later. So it's like we have the whole lifespan of this product now is fucked. and had the wrong straps. Right. So, and that's one where like we claimed it to be like, you know, in some cases, size up, size down, that's not a huge issue. Right. But it is in the sense of being a perfectionist and like wanting the best product. And like, that's not what I fucking ordered. But there's been many cases where things just don't come out right and we can't release them. So we have to go and fight tooth and nail to kind of see what we can get back, what we got to do with the product. It's the clothing is the toughest business I have ever been in by far.
Do you
will be in.
Do you find yourself obsessed with the details of all of it, like the gym, the clothing, all of it? Do you find yourself like
100%? And the issue with clothing being so obsessive with it is the fact that like, bro, I want to upgrade everything, and that comes at a cost. And it's like we can't just with product costs going up, and it's you have to find a balance of like, okay, I need to like not make this something I have to sell for $120. You know what I mean? It has to stay within like our Alphalete kind of range. But that means, what does that actually mean in real life? Fuck, we just have less margin because I increased the product quality and I didn't want to increase the price.
But that's to you just wanting to make a great product, and you hold yourself to a certain standard. You also have, what percentage of your business is women's now?
About 67%.
Okay, so more than male.
Yeah. Which is actually, it was like 80% a few years ago.
Wow.
So men's is coming back up.
Do you think that's because the women's buying habits are so different than men?
Yeah.
Okay. Like we were talking about this as I heard you say that on a pod about how like, think about when we buy men, it's a lot of birthdays. It's like, if we're coming out here, we went and got a fit, like, you know, it's so much less. Our girlfriends walk out the door and they'll come back with Skims. I'm like, it's just fucking Tuesday. Yeah. What's going on? Yeah. Why do we get a big bag at Skims? And it's just
whose credit card do you use? Mine's missing out of my wallet. That is crazy.
Tell us about the first women's drop.
First women's drop, I invested a decent amount of money, made a sports bra, a tank, a legging, and a short. We sold like 3 sports bras. And I looked at my shipping guy at the time, Derek, and I go, I'll just go deliver them myself. I'll walk them. I'll walk the women's orders to just so disappointed. And it wasn't the quality it was great quality, especially for that time, but we just weren't a women's brand. And so it took getting that product like slowly out and then working on a new legging. And it took getting that into YouTubers' hands and, you know, honest try-on hauls. And when that started kind of organically happening, I started reaching out to the people making the video. Gabby was really the first one. And I was like, I would love to like work with you in some ways. So that was kind of like the first, you know, organic pop-off item that we had that really like that changed that's when we went from ordering, you know, 300-400 units of something to like 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. Wow. And that's what really took the revenue, you know, really kind of a lot of Alphalete's growth over the first 8 years was really due to women's it was like strong men's start, only men's start. Women's was a slow catch on, but then women's is what took, men probably stayed steady, really, a little increase here, but women just like skyrocketed it.
Was the decision to get into women's because you knew that obviously it's like a whole other market that you weren't tapping into? Did you feel like for Alphalete to really, really grow into what you wanted it to, you had to tackle both men's and women's?
It's a good question. There's another one.
Come on, fire.
You're hot today.
Dude, you haven't gotten one. That's all good.
Honestly, like it's not that I desperately wanted to make women's wear. I just, 1, knew I could, and 2, knew that my competitors, Gymshark, was doing it, right? I was kind of at the forefront. I was an athlete with Gymshark when they launched the women's, and was really like kind of in those initial stages, and knew I could do it. I could do the same thing, right? And honestly create what I thought would be better fitting, higher quality materials and things. And, you know, I remember like instead of like doing a printed logo on the leg, I was like, you know what, we'll do knitted in. So it's like forever in there. It's not going to peel off. It's like another selling point, right? So I think I just I just knew that was the next step in Alphalete, to be honest, and wanted to tackle it and not quit when it only sold 3 bras at first.
Yeah.
Was the creator marketing like pivotal? Because during COVID, I remember seeing that, was it the Revival leggings go crazy on TikTok?
Amplify.
Amplify went crazy on TikTok. When you saw those numbers, were you like, this is something that we've never seen from just like organic?
Well, 100%, bro. And the pop off of Amplify, I know I was talking on ego at the beginning of this. The pop off of Amplify is what really just like led me to ordering so much fucking clothes and everything. So that like ended up meaning over ordering. And that sort of was the biggest reality check. It's like when you see something catch on that big, you are almost like, it's easy to get, caught in the hype and riding your wave and like, all right, anything we touch is going to fucking pop off. And that's not always the case. You're
like, those stimmy checks are hitting. People are going to go, spending the whole stimmy check on the Amplify
leggings. So funny, dude.
We've moved probably over 1 million, probably close to or over 1 million units of that.
Of just the Amplify legging?
I would say yes. I was doing orders of like 70, 80,000 between different colors and stuff, right? But that was like peak buy. Yeah, it was crazy, man.
Something most people don't know is when you do get a lot of stock in your, say it's not your own warehouse, and you're having to use like a fulfillment center or someplace, what ends up happening with stock that is sitting? Can you tell us?
Oh, you just get feed up the ass.
Because it's not moving.
It's not moving. You get feed. And even like, honestly, we're constantly unraveling so many things that like miscounted, things that are sold out on the website because it's not in our direct site now. It's in fulfillment centers. When we go in person and check, it's like, that's supposed to be sold out. Why is there a box? Right? A lot of that happens. But ultimately you just get feed up the ass. So we had so much square footage getting taken up of like inventory, and especially if you over order hoodies, if you over order items that are more volume, like leggings and shorts, not too bad. But if you're ordering, duffel bags and gym bags and all this stuff, it just takes more square footage. So it's really by the square foot, by not cleaning out our SKUs on Shopify, like everything just adds up like way more than you think when you're signing that contract.
You also brought up Gymshark, and you told us that at one point you were really chasing them. Do you still feel like you're chasing them?
No.
Not at all?
No, not at all. I want to stay in my lane, make healthy margins, get the company like in a consistently healthy spot and grow it from there. It's like where I lost myself so much was chasing that number, and it led to so many consequences that yes, now I have things and people and structures in place to be sure if that next Amplify fucking pops off again, we'll be ready for it. And I won't make the same mistakes again. But it's like, yeah, it's so much can be destructed when you just chase revenue without really like, especially I'll say like it's different with say supplements and with like 3D and stuff where like you're ordering more real time, but with clothing, you're ordering 9 to 18 months in advance. So right now we're depositing, like I have a meeting, adopter drop. So it's like, are we going to keep or are we going to cancel for women's summer 2026?
Wow. That's
yes,
so
bro.
crazy
So it's
how
like,
far out you are.
It's so far out, and it's so the way we do it with drops, especially like we're trying to shift away from just drop, because every drop is such a risk, right? So we're trying to get, realign our 12 men's SKUs that we're going to be like restocking and kind of replenishing, but we've kind of shot ourselves in the foot where we trained our customer to be so drop oriented.
And how often is a drop? Is it every 10 weeks or something?
We have 7 drops in a year, 6 to 7 drops in a year. So yeah.
What's the math on that?
It's like 8 to 10.
8 to 10 a year. Okay.
Which is so interesting.
And then we have restocks in between, or like subtle like capsules of like new colors of, certain items, but drops are like new styles, new development. That's the drop.
It's so interesting that you say that, because I feel like the drop style has become so popular and such a great marketing tool of like, I'm going to build a story around each particular drop, and I'm going to do a limited amount. I'm going to sell out. I'm going to build this world around this specific drop. But I guess, yeah, as you scale, it's like having those key styles that are like at the core of
and it's
Alphalete.
just totally different. You look at Gymshark, they don't have like hype drops. You look at Young LA, it's all drops. You look at Honor Active, they're more consistent. They have a few drops, so they only do a few days of hype and they kind of release on the website and then things go. It's like trying to kind of not be like anyone specific, kind of make our own model is what we're trying to do by, you know, having the 6 to 7 drops a year, having small capsules, which would be like new colors and stuff in between. And then where the business will get more healthy is like, we used to never want to make the same thing twice. And that was such a fucking cocky thing for me to do, bro, and say and kind of like stand behind. When people like it and they want it, let's replenish and, you know, bring a few new colors. And so those restocks that we're slotting in, we're hoping to see that really like build that, start moving the customer away from just drop first hour sales is everything to a sustainable higher daily sale average. And actually this whole year, like we haven't got our numbers for July yet from the accounting, but we had our highest daily average in June out of the whole, which is like literally like exactly what we want to fucking see.
What is average cart value? Do you know off the top of your
Cart
head?
value is about 110, 115.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I think it's really smart to make something again and even bring back an old color. I'm just thinking about the way I shop. I recently got this shirt from Kith. I've had this style of shirt in a couple of different colors. As you have something for a few years, you wash it and maybe it doesn't feel like it once did. And you're like, I fucking love this color. Maybe it faded a little bit. I would love to have that again new. Or it's the same style, but I love when they drop a new color because I'm like, I know this fit. I love it. I love this shirt. I'm so down to have this specific shirt in multiple different colors. But I remember like I had one of these in like a teal green and then I fucking stained it. And I'm like, I can't fucking wear this shirt. I'm like, I'm praying that they bring that same colorway because I loved it so much, but I don't have a shirt anymore.
Yeah. And like the challenges as like a clothing owner for like that scenario is, okay, if my daily sales, if I'm only moving 3 to 7 pieces of this per day, it's like, is it, and then it kind of steadily drops and drops. Like how long do I keep investing into that? If I'm selling, do I order another 1,000? That's going to take me if things keep going well, another, 7-8 months to sell through. What's the cost of the warehousing that? What's the cost of like, where does it all break even? So that's been with as many SKUs as we built up to, that just caused so much complexity in the business to where it's now we're like bringing the SKUs down, limiting to like 6 to 7 men's items per drop, 10 to 12 women's, and even maybe bringing that down slightly so we can find the key SKUs that are going to be, the ones that live for 4 to 5 cycles. That's kind of where we're at now, is like resetting the men's and seeing and tracking like, okay, Momentum Tea that sold out within 40 days. So that's one we're going to bring back. If it sells out in 120 days, maybe it's not really worth it. If it sells out in a week, fuck yeah. Bring it back, airship it, get it on the side ASAP. Or do we put it on C, take some longer time to get it? Like, will the other drops take away from that item? Even if we restock it, sold well the first time, what if we launch something, people want that instead? Now we're stuck with this restock. So it's just a super complex business is what I'm getting at, for sure.
Do you cater that more women's drops to more men's drops, or is it the same? Like every time you do a drop, we're
for
getting
like
both?
a year and a half, we split it because at first it was always everything together.
Okay.
And we split it, and now we're actually going back to combining men and women together on the same day. But
why was that?
Super interesting. You'll love this, but when is this going up?
In a week?
Can't say yet then. Yeah.
What about 2 weeks?
Take that back. If it's 2 weeks, we're launching our Alphalete women's Instagram.
Okay, 2 weeks.
Yeah. On the 20th of August.
Okay.
And keeping the Alphalete page, but we're pretty much, what ended up happening is women's just overpowers the men so much in sales and then therefore marketing, right? So it's like we're going to be posting, if that's where the sales are coming from, it's going to be like the page will look 70% women. So that's causing men to not necessarily resonate with the brand as much. So what we're going to do is really, instead of making the current Alphalete page men's only, just be more Alphalete, become more focused, more male content, women still included in that obviously, but a women specific page to have the more like fun, like, matcha, like the more lifestyle women specific content. Because me and my marketing team go back and back all the time, but having all that content, and when you're trying to like have a solid become more mission, and like it's too conflicting. Like, what is Alphalete, right? And that's just been the burning question in this office for like the last 2 years. Like, what is our mission? How are we making content that revolves around it? Are these TikTok videos that's not on brand, but it's still needed, right? So it's like really separating those, and then having TikTok content for TikTok, you know, and just having content that giving it more structure. So it's not just like, oh, you see this badass, you know, runner, George, running a full marathon, become more athletic, cinematic, dope, cool, blurry pictures. But then you go to the next post and it's like outfit trials. It's like, what is the brand messaging? And I think, yeah, that's something we're about to try. So I'm excited to see how that goes.
That's so interesting. You used to also compete. When did the idea for summer shredding become a thing and throwing your own show?
After doing summer shredding, that was my first like YouTube series. I just titled it for my competition prep. It led to an online competition where we had, for 1 year, we had like 30,000 people sign up. It was free and they could like win money. So I had 30,000 people doing the 90-day thing with me. And after that, it was like, man, these shows I'm doing kind of suck. Like the organization of them, like the gift, the experience, like no one talks to each other backstage. Is a very kind of, you know, very isolating kind of vibe. So it's like, how do we make a show and involve transformation? Because like I was doing this online competition, how much can you transform in 90 days? Take a newspaper. And so then the idea of like, we'll have a transformation class, we'll have people make a video, we'll put it at the top screen, and then they walk out, we have the before photo after, we see the before and after. So it was like kind of taking that online thing and putting it in person was like the sprinkle that a competition needed that now makes that summer shredding. And it just took like going to the Stafford Center down the road and be like, how much would it be to rent the weekend? And once we got those numbers, like, okay, so we need like whatever, 110, 120 competitors to break even. Let's see how it goes. And then since then we did like 3 or 4 years of one show a year at the Stafford Center. And then it led to wanting to make the SSC, which is like a league where we have top 5 from every show qualify for a big championship, put prize money back there. And we actually have our biggest show ever, September 12th. Here coming up, yeah.
Wow.
And will it be at the gym or will it be at the Stafford Center?
Stafford Center.
At the Stafford Center.
But we kind of host everything here. We do the athlete check-ins here. We throw a big bash the day after. We have judges' feedback and all the vendors. So like we're just able to provide a really dope experience when we do it in Houston.
What was the response like after that first one?
The first show?
Yeah, the first summer shredding.
Fantastic.
And did you have people saying, man, this is different than anything else I've experienced? Like what percentage of those people that came out for the first summer shredding had competed before versus I'm just really into fitness and I fuck with Christian?
I'd probably say like 50 to 60% had competed before. 40% were wanting it to be their first show. And I would say that's maybe about the ratio now. There's a big like misconception where like summer shredding is just a beginner show. And like, I just say to anyone who says that, come do it then.
Yeah.
So, you know,
come win. If you're
win.
that legit.
But it's definitely like a great, for transformation, especially for people that aren't quite at, you know, I'm going to place top in a NPC. I want to be an IFBB. It's like, this is a great place to get your feet wet for sure. But not to say there's not good competition as well.
Dude, give me a year. I just took a before.
You think so?
I just took a before
Hey,
photo.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Fit Physique, that's a natural drug tested physique
Dude, maybe
division.
you have a chance in there.
Yeah,
Come on.
dude, we'll see.
Were people in the other bodybuilding leagues, were they kind about this idea, or did you feel like, were they like,
No.
that's what I was, yeah, was there a lot of resentment
There
towards
still kind of is.
well, no, I mean, I can only imagine, I bet they're butthurt because they're like, you're coming on to the space and trying to make something that's so much better. What did that look like? Were they trying to like block your shows at all? Is that something that happens? I have no idea. I'm just curious.
I got a phone call that was like, you need to change some of your posing. Just like, and so, you know, hearing that, I changed some stuff up.
What is that? What does that mean
Like
exactly?
change for example, and this is not, it's never been like firm, concrete, like there's no like hard, it's just like context clues.
Okay.
Which I don't really appreciate.
Yeah, just call me and tell me exactly what's going on.
That's what I would love. But I mean, So for example, we added a front pose to bikini. So now it's like you have your, it's always been front and back pretty much, but now we have a front, which is like your favorite hip. We added a front pose where your hips have to be dead on. So that's like something we added this year just to make our division a little bit more unique. Transformation, we have fit physique. We added a side tricep into classic physique, which is like just like kind of adjusting the way we do the posing and just finding more ways to make it more unique is all I can do. And that's all I'm going to do. But it's also like, there's also been conversations of, having a sanctioned show with the NPC be through summer shredding. So it's like, but again, it's kind of like gets thrown out there, then no one follows up. And it's kind of like, I'm just doing my thing. But I think,
just put on a great show and have people
like
come
summer
out.
shred. It's not the NPC, not the IFBB, and that's a path. That's a whole different. If you dream beyond the Olympia, shut the fuck up about summer shredding. That's not what you should be doing. You need to go that path. Like if you want to be an IFBB pro, that's the path you go. But I'm just trying to build my own thing over here.
How has the show changed since that first one? Besides the posing,
a lot more prize money, a lot more. Essentially, like we try to give the two champions the best opportunity to succeed. We give them like camera packages, laptop. We give them all the tools. We give them an Alphalete sponsorship, all the tools so they can, if they put the effort in, create a business for themselves.
That's awesome. And you guys also just had your first one in
instead of like just winning like a pro card, right?
Okay, I see.
So it's like realistically, to make a career out of this, you're gonna need to start understanding social. You're gonna have to start understanding how to market yourself, and like that's really what we lean into a lot.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
With 3D, when you have a falling out with the partners that you were originally with, how long did it take to fully get the company back to be your own?
About 2 years.
Wow.
2 years. But I will say like a lot of that was also, I feel like a lot of it was me not being prepared to have the tough, blunt, decisive conversations, right? It's like, oh, let me get, and lawyers are, we needed the lawyers, we need their lawyers going back and forth, especially after what everything was kind of happening. But I think if I would have called and just said, I want 100% of the company, what's it going to take? But see, that's a very different tone that's a very different outcome. They would have been like, oh, it's going to take you buying us out, blah, blah, blah. Versus like, no, I'm fucking serious. Let me get my lawyers involved. I'm not going to like, and so that ended up, I was given the 100% and they're like, oh, good luck with the product or whatever. But I was able to pick it up, new partners, like getting all that sorted. And we sold that old inventory, got it all out, used those funds, invested in the new one. So it's like we're able to kind of save it. But it was 2 years could have been much quicker, but I kind of needed that time to like find the new partners and kind of, you know what I mean? And not like let the weight of Alphalete and all the other things crumble, because like 3D was always there, but it's like I wasn't on a daily basis putting a lot of time into it. So it's like I had to be sure I was ready to put the time in again.
As someone who wants to start an energy drink one day, what are 3 things that I need to know? I want that one-headed crack to be a part of a drink brand.
Online, you can start it online for sure, but you're gonna need distribution.
So what was your whole playbook? Like show them what this first drop can do with my audience and then go, hey, 100%. This is what we did.
100%.
Okay.
And that worked in 2017. And I will say like when our first like online, the first place you could buy this when we relaunched was Vitamin Shop online, not in person yet.
Yeah.
Fucking crushed it.
Oh, wow.
Like every single link I would do, 700 link clicks, 1,200 link clicks. Like,
wow.
And Heidi as well, right? Where boom, Vitamin Shop texted on. They're like, I think you got a winner here, right? And so it's kind of the same, like that traction. So it's definitely like use the online to get it in, but I would say just like try to find. It's tough because you're gonna have to. It's like the chicken or the egg. Do you make the product first or this, and then take the risk and then get it in? But yeah, I mean, driving your people to clear the shelves is the surefire way to keep growing. And beware of the minimums. The minimums are high.
Okay.
The minimums I want to say per flavor are like 250,000 cans.
Holy shit.
Divided up by 12 for cases. per flavor. So we did
Oh my
like
God.
1.5 million cans.
With the OG, when you were trying to just get it created and get the flavor tested, how hard was it to get anyone to take you seriously? Because they're like, I don't know how much volume at this time period. Like, what was that like to actually get
I did the minimum.
Oh, you just were like,
I did the minimum, and then we sold it online.
And it has to be 250, like in the beginning, had to be 250.
That's what these were.
Wow. That's fucking
You might be able to find a different company.
How many cases does that shake out to be? Do you know?
Divided by 12. So like.
Oh, they're all okay. All a 12 pack. Wow.
What, 10?
Yeah.
20.
Wow. A lot of cases.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Brain's never been too good at math, but.
No, it's not my thing.
But what you said, you see somebody like a Ryan Trahan who's killing it in Target with his candy. It's like, that is the power of personal brand and having an audience.
My best friend Max just sold sour strips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Right? It's crazy.
But having that audience to go ride for you and go buy it in store to prove to these
the retailers,
stores.
100%. That's the way.
Once you got the keys back and 3D is yours, how did you go about reintroducing it in a new way?
Just literally finally, honestly, leaning on my content, leaning on YouTube, leaning on, let me catch you guys up. And from that point, because I wasn't talking about it for years because of the lawsuit stuff. So I finally like opening up about it. And then from that point through launch and even now, literally like documenting every single step. And I think that is what has led to the successful relaunch.
Have you studied any adjacent brands in the drink sector, like a Poppy that sold for multiple billions or something? Is there anything that you've noticed from or other energy drink brands? You're like, that's something very unique that I want to implement here. Is there anything like that?
I mean, the only thing I would say is that making this product and having it retail under $2 is a massive statement.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that's a huge like reason why this is going to succeed. It's like we're placing it like, the NOS drink and Venom.
Yeah. Those are
the only two drinks in that. Then this, so it's like if you have that and Venom does like 100 million every like either quarter or like half a year. So it's
that's
like
crazy.
If you put 3D in that lineup, taste is better, can's more attractive, it's cleaner, no artificial dyes. It's like just.
Is that a combo you had with Dom and you guys were like, we're gonna have to play here?
The pricing thing was 100% him.
Okay.
What does one can cost?
Cost?
What can I get it at for?
$1.98.
Okay, so just shy of $2.
Wow.
Under $2.
So everything's fucking $4 now. Every drink is $4.
Between 3 and 4.
Yeah, everything's $4. You go to Air One, $4, dude. Every drink on that damn shelf.
And if Vitamin Shop cases, it's $19.99 a case.
Oh wow.
So that's even cheaper.
Even cheaper.
Yeah. So it's like we're willing to take less margin because we're going to bank on volume on this.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Is this isn't going to be like an Uber situation where you get me in at $2 and then in 2 years these are $4? No. Okay, that is
the business model is
to stick at that
price, kill that price point, and just like grow it
and beat them with volume.
Yeah.
Wow. And is there something you have your sight set on where it's like, do you want to be in like a Walmart or a Target or something?
Walmart's already on the way.
Ooh, wow.
Target, not yet.
Okay.
But
Walmart's on the way.
Walmart's on the way, yeah.
How is the...
Dom texted me, he goes, Walmart, done.
Oh, wow.
Fuck it.
Let's go. That's
kind of how it goes.
How's the pitching process been with Heidi when you guys get to go in and sell these retailers on your guys' product? Like, what have you learned about pitching with Heidi?
It's interesting because like we actually have Kroger next Tuesday. We're driving to Dallas and you're going to go meet with those guys to lock in that deal. But I mean, bro, like literally when I went to HEB, that was our first like pitch and had no idea what to expect. But it's one of those where like if I would have started to think about how's this going to go, what do I need to say? It's like I just kind of showed up and told the story. It's like started this energy drink because I love White Monster. I just didn't like how it bloated me. It was kind of expensive. So it's just kind of the story, even about the partners failing and the partners not working out, restarting, finding new partners, and just honestly being transparent. Being transparent with anybody you're talking to is always just like the best plan. And yeah, everyone who's picked it up so far has had an incredible reception for it selling quick. So
it tastes really good. I was never into the White Monsters until I moved in with Braden.
Yeah, dude, I needed it. They sent me a tower of them.
Yeah.
Never wanted to work with me. unbelievable. I was like, what are we doing here? They just, remember how many did they send me? Like 40 cases? Marketing director, I finally got in touch with this guy. I was like, dude.
Yeah.
And your stomach, like the stomach just kind of like.
Yeah, no, it's not good. It's not the vibe. But that was what I used to drink when we were in college, and then we switched.
I'm a coffee guy, but
Kosi likes coffee. I'm not a big
These are
coffee
great.
guy.
I do both.
You like
pre,
coffee?
you know?
Do you drink 2 a day? Because I feel like I'm a 2 a day kind of guy.
2 a day.
Yeah.
If I'm doing like coffee in the mornings, which is almost every morning, it'll be like usually 1.5.
Black coffee?
I like to add some protein shake.
Oh, okay.
Some like RTD protein shake.
Okay.
With some stevia.
Uh-huh.
I was doing black for a minute, but I just prefer it with some protein.
Who are we trying to impress? You know, like, black coffee. No. Okay, you have 4 businesses that could easily take up 100% of your time. As a CEO, managing 4 different businesses, how do you think about divvying up your time?
I mean, honestly, it's like what's going to have the most impact is kind of always the question you just have to ask yourself and answer. And most of the time it's Alphalete, right? It's mostly Alphalete, but at the same time, by having the gym here and it's where I train every day, it's like my gym work always happens during my workout. So it's like, okay, I'm making all these things I want to see. I'm kind of making the list, usually communicating with everyone that I need to communicate while I'm lifting, which I shouldn't be doing. But like normally my 2.5 hours here is, you know, setting up the next steps for the business and for the gym. And it looks a lot different now than it used to look, but I will say it's always been like, if I were to spit numbers, maybe like 60% Alphalete, 15 to 20% gym, 20% 3D now, and like 5 to 10% summer shredding. Like very little. Summer shredding is like really just a little bit of promo a year, and I show up to the shows and just talk to everybody. That's like that's my number. It's like I don't have to really do much business, but it's a pretty good system and flow. And kind of, I guess that's the thing where like every business has a different cadence. So like the gym was a shit ton of work to get it up and running. And there the time was probably a little more than 20, but now it's like, it's very easy to have, it's built, it's done. It's like, we'll upgrade here and there, but like that's a running thing that now takes less time. Same with summer shredding. We got the system down. Now, next year, we're going to add 1 show, maybe a second if this one really like does really well, which we might do, but it's kind of copy paste. So like those 2 are super easy. 3D is where I'm like opening up a lot of my time for right now. So it's like right now I've got more of my time focused on content, and my responsibility with 3D is like the market. I need to fucking own that shit, right? So I'm prepared to go in any direction. I'm kind of feeling this out and like prepared to give more wherever it's needed. What do I need to do to blow this up? And I'm relying on my partners to feed me that information. But really the most difficult and the one that's always been the most time consuming is Alphalete, due to the ever changing style of the business, with the drops, with the new product, with the tweaking of fabric. It's just that's a constant most challenging for sure.
I still just can't believe if we could get 18 months out on the pod. Holy shit, dude. If we could get 2 months out on the pod.
2 weeks.
And I'll say 18 months if you're like, you're putting things on a boat, you're really ordering big rolls of fabric, and like that's something I kind of tried to do, and that also in combo with with Amplify popping off, trying to get too far ahead also fucked. So it's like it was a combination of things: ordering too much, making too big of commitments, ego was high. But now we're working on more of like for women's, about a 10-month timeline. And obviously like the shorter your timeline goes, the more your cost is going to be. So it's like, it's a double-edged sword again. Like, do we want to be more real time with our data, pay some higher prices, be a little bit quicker to ship and all these things? Or so I'm trying to get to that business model again, but right now it's like in men's is even like 6 to 7 months. We're like on a shorter turnaround time, so we can just kind of have lower margin for a second, but get the data so we can work further out again.
Gotcha.
I mean, we got the big gym literally right downstairs. What's something that has stayed the same or changed in the training protocol? Because I know you're doing something totally different now.
Yeah, totally different.
Have you enjoyed that, or has it been a pain in the ass?
No,
It's like a fucking pain in the ass, dude.
it's definitely like different.
And it's like
you know?
it's like a bunch of negatives and then going slow on the way up too, right? Stuff
Yeah,
like that.
it's just a lot of weird movements. I mean, it's still got its like basic. Every 3-4 weeks, it's a different set of things. So like sometimes on the first day of the week, I'm like, fuck, I hope I like this, or I hope I don't hate it. But it's definitely just it's a nice challenge to have, to really think about what I'm doing in the gym instead of just like kind of going through my motions and like just slowly trying to add weight and stuff. But I like having some free workouts here and there, but I haven't really done that. I've really been strict on the plan, but my body is in a great spot right now. So, but it's also like a lot of that's to do with the diet.
I was just about to ask.
I mean, it's like 80% diet, bro.
Okay, 80% diet. If someone just like, hey, I want to get fit, it's get in here as often as you can, but more so the diet.
That is so great to hear because
Dude, you have a chance.
had In-N-Out at 1 a.m. last night when we got in.
And we were so hungry.
We're on the right path.
I'm feeling good. I'm ready to lift later.
Dude, yeah, we're gonna get a
You guys got to try Alphaletes.
No.
100.
We
had a sandwich.
We had a
for
sandwich
breakfast.
this morning. It was
Oh
great.
yeah, would you get the breakfast, the croissant one?
No,
we had a
I don't think it was
pre-packaged
open yet. I think, but we had a little.
No.
pre-packaged one.
Here's what it was. It was open. We were just setting up, and I was like, I'm gonna get a prepackaged sandwich.
there it is.
Delicious, by the way.
The croissant breakfast sandwich is the best breakfast item.
Okay.
It's good to know.
If someone's listening to this, and they're maybe eating In-N-Out, and they've maybe lost a little bit of motivation, could you talk to them for 30 seconds and get them fucking hyped up? And maybe a little hope core going on. Talk to the people who are maybe a little bit unmotivated and how can they get remotivated, get off their ass and make change in their life.
Look, I'm going to give you the hard truth, man. It's going to take you looking in the mirror every day and you're going to hit a breaking point. You're going to be like, I'm fucking sick of this, right? And the hard truth for most people, that's what it's going to take. And it's like that moment when you're like, fuck, like who have I turned into, right? That's when you get your ass in shape. No one's going to get you motivated. No one's going to like get you consistently, maybe for like a month or two kind of going in, but like to really invest into it, you just have to flip a switch, man. And I mean, then it's always way harder to get there than to maintain it. Maintaining it's not easy, but getting there is the hard part. And you just have to, I find for most people like in our transformation class and stuff, it's really just like a light bulb goes off and you have to just want it. I mean, it's a lot of effort. It's not easy. It's like you can't just go on and off. It's something you're going to turn on and keep on. And like, you just have to, yeah, I mean, I could sit here and be like, oh, I don't know, try to sell some shit, but it's really, you just have, you have to want the change, you know, and usually it comes from hating what you see, you know, or hating how you feel, but usually it's hating what you see. Or like if you're kind of sort of in shape, right? When are you going to be tired of just like kind of seeing the same shit year after year? Yeah. And it could be that as well. It's like, God, I've looked the same for 5 years. It's like, then do something different.
I think that's kind of the point that I'm at right now is I've always worked out, but it's always been kind of like, at least the past couple years, it's been,
be honest with him,
3-4 days a week, getting in a flow, going on a trip, maybe feeling a little injured, falling off. And I've been in this cycle for the past 3-4 years, for as long as I've known Braden. And turning 30, I kind of flipped that switch of, if I don't make a change now, I'm like not that I'm running out of time, but in a way, it's like I would love to be able to see where I could take myself physically from like a lifting and how strong I could get or how athletic I could feel. So I think that
you got to pick a program, lock in the diet, which in the diet, if you want to be tracking your food, switch to whole food, just do whole foods.
Yeah.
Hit your protein and eat whole food. Follow a workout program is huge. Just pick like what style you want to do. If it's like hybrid style or like a high rock style, if it's going to be if you want to get strong as hell and it's like a 5-3-1, or if you want to do a bodybuilding split, you buy Jeff Nipper's program, or if you get C-Bum's app, it'll give you a split, but just like get some split that you can track your stuff. I think that's huge. It's just like the fitness app I use, it's pretty much like C-Bum's app. My coach runs it with him. So that's made a huge change for me, man. Instead of like just going in and kind of doing mentally, which I've done for many years, that like logging all the stuff and being sure, okay, this week I did 80 pounds for 9, like start tracking it. do the whole foods. If you're trying to get strong and all that, like do 3 to 4 sessions of cardio a week and your body's gonna start changing like crazy.
What do you notice has been one of the biggest drivers to strength? Like in those periods where the workouts have been more strength focused, is it like what has really moved the needle for you?
I mean, strength, a lot of that is recovery, honestly. Like I find I'm resting now more than I ever have. I'm doing like a 4-day split right now. And it's lower rep range. It's a lot of tempo work. So like pausing at the bottom, 3 or 4 second negatives to really control things. Like the more controlled you can lift the heavy weight, the stronger you're going to get. It's not necessarily like, oh, I can do the 130s for 1. It's like, no, like I'd rather you do 110s, slow, controlled, pause and control that shit. Like own that, be fluid with the movement. Don't hit those sticking points. And then if you do that enough times, then overall your strength is going to be so much greater than if you're just like kind of trying to do max weight with kind of subpar form.
Have you had
form is everything.
Have you had to get like put more weight on to lift heavier? You can stay a similar weight.
I used to think I'd have to put weight on, but I've been over the last 14 months constantly just trying to get leaner, obviously having ups and downs, but like on a downward trajectory for sure. And I'm the strongest I ever have been. Wow. So it's also doing movements consistently. So not changing up your workout routine every week. Like pick something, and if you're progressing at it, stick to it until literally the wheels fall off, until like that's not work, until you feel like you're not going. It should be like, 3, 4, it can even be 5 months that you're doing the same workout split. And just, if you're adding weight, you're getting better form, you're going to be seeing progress.
So right now you
it's
feel
day
like
one today. It's day one for us today, dude.
Dude, is it day one or one day?
Or one day.
Dude, you tell me.
It's day one, brother.
No, I'm like 2 weeks in. Dude, we got a little bit of momentum. You feel like you're the strongest you've ever been right now?
In the sense of like overall, for example, when I was in my bench pressing phase and I was benching twice a week for like 6 months, I'm a stronger bencher back then than I am now. But like overall, if I go pick up any movement, yeah, overall strength. But like, of course, if you do the same movement for long periods of time, you'll get more. Like if I go in incline bench right now, I'm doing 275 for a few. A year and a half ago when I was doing incline bench with the barbell all the time, 275 for 11. So it's like, but if I just do the 275 for, the next 2 months, I'll be back up there, no problem. So it's like my body's in the best stage to be strong at anything I'm doing.
That's kind of how I feel like with like speaking Spanish, right? it's like iffy, but like, dude, take me to Mexico for a week. I'm back, dude.
That's so fucking funny.
Is there, when it comes to fitness, obviously like you love bodybuilding. As you get older and continue to train, like, do you think you'll continue to just be like in love with the bodybuilding? Are there other forms of fitness that you maybe want to like bring into your lifestyle?
I did a half marathon in May.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because Ashley Flores, one of our athletes, called me a pussy if I didn't do it.
If you didn't do the half?
So I said, fuck, I'm doing it. And I didn't stop. 13.
Bro, I did a full in May of last year. Haven't ran one time since.
Yeah, and honestly, it took that half marathon
I
for
was
me to
like,
be like, yeah, I'm
bro,
not
I'm
really
good. I'm like,
loving this anymore.
I don't like this. I went, same situation. My friend and I were going on like a Christmas vacation, and he's like, we're in line at LAX in an Uber, and he's like, you won't run a full marathon with me in May. And he's like, you could not do it. I was like, I'll buy the thing right now.
Literally, and then you realize you're just literally like
every day is running, bro. It's so much in my, and then I'm realizing, oh my God, my Saturday and gone. You run for 4 fucking hours, or like you run for 2.5 hours. You're exhausted. The last thing I want to do is anything. I'm also so sore. You're like walking. Then I didn't want to lift.
Yeah.
Then I got super small. I'm like, the weirdest thing I feel like is people that get into running as someone who enjoys lifting is you're like, okay, great. Now I suck in the gym, and I also still suck at running. This is like,
unless you're Nick Bear.
Unless you're Nick Bear and you can run fucking a 3-minute mile. Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Dude, it sounds like you just got to go one more.
It was so frustrating. And I remember when we hit a half marathon of the full marathon, and I'm like, dude, I'm kind of cooking. I'm at 155. Like, I'm flying. I got hurt though. So after mile 15 in training, I didn't do anything after 15. So after 15 on the day, I'm like, man, I'm feeling pretty good. This is all new territory.
Yeah.
That's 11 more miles of new territory. It was awful. It was so brutal.
Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely want to keep my focus on, I follow these guys, 3DMJ team, that are in their high 40s still making progress, like naturally.
Oh, with like fitness.
So
Okay.
it's like, I definitely want to keep my physique primary focus while, dabbling in and trying other stuff as well, but not to the point where like when I did that half, I really had to say, okay, I'm putting my gym gains on hold for a minute so I could like accomplish this goal. But I found like I really just didn't enjoy that much.
I didn't like running, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't like running like that.
Gone on a few runs and kind of enjoy it, but
I like shorter runs, like 30 minutes.
Wait till you go run for an hour and a half and you're like,
I tell my girlfriend, I'm like, I'm gonna go run. I come back, I like ran like a mile. She goes, "You're back already? What the fuck do you do?
We got for 10 minutes."
Also, another thing, I told Braden this last night. My dad just turned 70, and we're like, "Yeah, so like, what kind of goals do you have?" He goes, "Oh, I just want to make it to 100 so I can compete in the Centurion Olympics." And I go, "What a sick goal!" Hilarious.
It's so funny, dude. Is there any specific goals outside of fitness that you're really trying to master in business? Do you feel like there's something where you've looked at this goal and you're like, man, I really want to go after this in the next 2 to 3 years or even the next year? Could be shorter term too.
In business, man, like I really think that all of my 20s, I spent so much time like hyper mode, kind of like starting a lot of things, almost too many things. I've had to, cut ties with a few businesses I wanted to do just because I was spreading myself way too thin and just overly excited. So it's like right now I'm just truly honing in on making the 4 businesses more effective, structurally sound. So when with growth, we can like do it the right way this time. And yeah, just get on a really good growth pattern, man. And like have sustainable growth year over year. It's like as simple, that's kind of basic that you want to grow every year, but I want to do that with a structurally sound foundation. So it's not just me like killing myself with no control over the details. I want to do it all over again in this next decade. It's like finishing one decade. I was really able to reflect of like, just how things went, the good. And I feel like I've learned so fucking much that now I'm just trying to do it in a different way. And a lot of that is because I'm ready to start a family. Like I was going to say, like one big, huge goal is we're really trying to start a family, have like kids back to back right now. So I want to, set things up to where I have a healthy balance of, I hate that. I hate healthy balance. Where I'm able to trust and keep like a good level of in the business, but also like have the time to be the dad I want to be.
That was a question I was going to ask you about balance, because as someone, you hear that thrown around a lot. I feel like it obviously really varies depending on, like if you ask, oh, what's your goals in the next year? Like they'll kind of tell you what level of balance they want or have. Is that kind of a bullshit thing that someone made up and it's just like fugazi?
I think it needs to be bullshit until you get to the point. Like, I guess it's a weird spot because when me and Heidi got married and we were looking at what we've actually like accomplished, like we're fucking proud. We're like, we've come a long way, man. And but it's also realizing like we have busted our asses so much to be able to be home when we start a family and to be able to like spend that time and like really do that how we wanted to. So it's like we sacrifice years to live that future life. So it's like now it's time to like get working on that life, but not just saying like, oh, I want it's like, I know I still want and I'm chasing and I'm going to put all the effort for all these companies, but understanding family like has to be a priority now. Cause like we're not getting any younger. We're about to start our 3rd round of IVF. Like we have to take this seriously now if we want to make it happen. So it's like, that's a big shift. And like 2 years ago when I was in the trenches, bro, 3 years ago, kids, not yet. I can't. I physically, I can't in this headspace. Like, but now I'm prepared, and I'm super ready and stuff. But it's just, I think biting off Alphaland and kind of that whole roller coaster of 4 years, has like, I've earned my spot. I feel like, I've earned this next chapter, and she feels the same.
How have you felt in your early 30s? Because I just turned 30 and I don't know what it is. I feel kind of younger at 30 than I did at 29.
Right. Honestly, it's just clarity. It's like, I think my 30s have equaled clarity.
Yeah.
My 20s were like hyperdrive, but hyperdrive isn't always effective. right? So it's chaotic. Like Chris Bumstead calls me because he, like, from all the years he'd known me, I was like, Chris, we run a podcast kind of like this with the Raw team, and he goes, if I had to describe Christian in 2 words, chaotic hurricane is what he said. And I think that describes like my 20s so perfectly. It's like chaotic as fuck, got it done, hurricane, but like there's an eye in the middle of the tunnel. So it's like, you know, I still get the shit done. But that was his metaphor. And that kind of, I was like, that does make sense. But like now it's a very different demeanor. And I think like being in the 30s and just being in this stage of life, like I feel I could outperform anything my 20-something-year-old self could do, and with less energy. You know what I mean? It's more effective.
And I feel like, at least for me, I have a lot more clarity on, I guess, what I want to do career-wise, but also like you understand who you are as a person so much more. So I think that goes to what you're saying about being able to make decisions effectively, because you're just like, I know who I am, I know how I operate, and I know what is actually best for me. And in your 20s, like I remember feeling like I had to accomplish everything and have everything figured out in my 20s. And then as I've become a little bit older and like going into my 30s, I'm realizing your 20s is kind of for just trying a bunch of shit,
yeah,
working hard, fucking up, and then taking that.
It's like you got to like brute force your way through your 20s, and I feel like that's a healthy. It's like, but people that are in their 20s that are like, I need balance. That's why I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Brute force your way through, power through, and do like that's the time to really just push, honestly. And like that's when your body's ready for. You can just really push that needle, like, you know, one way, and you know, see when you overheat, see when you rev the engine too hard, and like it's okay to burn out. It's okay. Like I would 100% say you need to burn out to see what your limits are. And then it's like every time I would burn out, I'd kind of take a little rest, and then I'd restart and then get a new threshold. So it's like, oh, I was able to, you know, go a little further this time, and you kind of build tolerance that way. You go through more shit, you have more issues in your company, you face more obstacles, and then years later, obstacles that happen feel like nothing.
You callous over those scars.
Yeah.
How do you refill your cup when you do feel burnt out?
Sleep, not look at my phone much, and watch Netflix and fucking just chill, play some Halo. You know, honestly.
Have you been playing a lot of Halo and COD? Are you good at COD?
Not COD. No, I downloaded it first time ever, like 3 weeks ago. Can't get past the first fucking level, bro. But I think I'm doing it on too high of a difficulty. But like,
you're doing story mode.
Yeah.
Okay. That's funny.
I'm a Halo guy.
Dude, Halo back in the day. I remember going to like a neighbor's house, and my mom had no idea. I was like, we're playing fucking Halo. This is crazy, dude. And you're playing with like 4 different people. I was just getting dogged on by the other 3 guys who had it for so long.
I was never much of a gamer. I played like 2K and some Madden.
I was never a gamer other than RuneScape. For sure.
What's RuneScape?
It's like a massive online,
like a
never-ending
Zelda kind of situation.
No, more like WoW, but better.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
I don't have.
It's like 35 skills that you can level up to 99. Like,
okay,
a whole, you know, I don't know what do you call it when it's like thousands of players online at one time. You can, you know,
like battle royale kind of situation, or no?
I don't even know what that is.
It's where you play like Fortnite. You play like 100 people at once.
Yeah, it's like that.
Okay,
you chat with everybody. It's like a whole like world.
Wow, interesting, huh? That's such
learn economy, buy and sell, make profit, buy shit.
Hell yeah.
If you could go back and chat with your 18-year-old self before you go on this crazy journey, building the gyms, building all these other companies, what would you say? Nothing that would change the journey, but what would you say?
Buckle up, let's fucking go, man. Just get them hyped. I think, I mean, like I was very confident in my action, things like that, but I would have, I think if I would have had somebody like in my ear really saying, you could just fucking go, like this is your time to try shit, go do it. Like that's what I would tell him. You know, if I had a kid that was 18, I go, this is your time to try and bust your ass and like go through the flames, power through, push your limits. This is your time. Instead of like play it safe, what's going to be your, like that's not the advice I needed.
What do you think 18-year-old Christian would say if he could peek in like
behind the
10
curtain.
years,
Yeah.
12
You'd
years into the
be
future.
proud as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Proud as shit. And Nala's still here. So that's dope. Because I got her when I was 19.
That's so crazy.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, she made it a little appearance to the pod. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 167 of the 505 podcast with Christian Guzman. If you're still here, please hit that subscribe button, drop us a comment. We'll see you guys all next week. Peace.